with another fireside chat without the fire. It is November 14th. Oh, is it 15th? Oh, I guess it's after midnight. So it's November 15th, 2021. I just thought I'd get on here and come up with, something to say. I mean, I can't sing. If I could sing, I'd make up a song. If I was a poet, I'd make poetry. If I could dance, I would dance. By, whatever I have to say. But, this is all I have. All I have to offer is my little chat. Because they say everybody has a talent. I've been here 58 years. I haven't figured out what my talent is yet. But all I have to offer is a little conversation, a little chit chat. So that's what I'm gonna offer. I just go ahead and put this out here. I don't know how long I'm gonna do this, but as long as I'm inclined to do it, I will do it. Because, like I said, all I have to offer is maybe my grandkids maybe won't look at it. Maybe hopefully I won't have any kids or grandkids. Well, I got kids, but hopefully I won't have any grandkids or great-great-grands. I mean, because these people that messed y'all up so bad, I know what you know about, trying to raise some children. It's just kind of messed up, but I'm not so, it's not all about me. And so, I'd rather not have kids, I'd rather not have grandkids or great-great-grands and none of that. Because y'all need to figure out what the hell happened in your situation, because it's all messed up. I just hate that my DNA is all tied up, and there was the deoxyribonucleic acid, all this double helix stuff that's all tangled with these rungs and stuff with these singles. Cause if I could get my DNA back, you know how you play these marbles, and if people ain't acting right, you can pick up your marbles and go. That's what I would like to do. I would like to just take my DNA and go. Give me back my DNA and move on. Because these people, it's some kind of situation that I can't even begin to understand. I think Elizabeth must have been abused in her earlier years. Something happened to the woman because she ain't normal. But anyway, like I say, I came on here like now because, what did I say? Did I tell y'all the date is 11/14/2021 or 11/15/2021, 10 minutes after midnight, according to the atomic clock. But basically, I just want to get on here because we just finished up with Veterans Day. And see, I've been a veteran. I've been part of the military since I was 17 years old. When I joined the Army, I had to get my parents to sign to okay for me to go in, because I joined during that. I was 17. It was a split option program. I joined during my 11th grade year. So when you take that summer break between 11th and 12th grade year, you go to basic training. And then once you finish high school, you go ahead and take your AIT and then go to your whatever else it is and all that. So it was split option is what it was called. And so basically, like I said, so I've been associated with the military for a long, long time. And we didn't always have all these little things that they have now, where you get the restaurants and stuff give you food and stuff on Veterans Day. They don't always have that. I'm grateful. I'm appreciative. I went ahead. I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the free breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All day long I was able to eat free. So I ate good that day. But what I come to say about this as we look at the veterans and stuff like that, I just like as part of the military, you take an oath and you sign on the dotted line. And they hold you to it. So it's almost like they can send you to the lands unknown, take you away from your family for, months, weeks, months, years at a time, because you signed on the dotted line. And you don't go with protest. You go because you signed on the dotted line to defend the values that make this nation great. To ensure domestic tranquility and all this other kind of stuff. So, they can. And then if you go in the army, 18, 19, 20 years old, and you undisciplined, so sometimes the military had to come down on you. They had to come down on your heart trying to get you on track. And they have all kinds of means to be able to get you on track. They can take money out of your paycheck. They can restrict you to the barracks. And if they're all the disciplinary things that they do to you, they can make you do extra duties, extra chores, and all that kind of stuff. And that's what they're trying to do to get you back on track so that they can, form you into a good soldier if you come in here all messed up. But if that don't work, what happens is they discharge you. They give you a dishonorable discharge. And that follows you for all of your life. It affects your ability to get a job, affects your ability to get loans, affects your ability to go to school. All that kind of stuff is affected. So you got a dishonorable discharge or an other than honorable discharge. Now these are the people who stood, raised a hand, took an oath to defend the values that make this nation great. So my question is, why can't we hold civilians to some kind of a standard? They shouldn't be allowed to just do whatever the heck they want to. You got people dying to secure the values that make this nation great, to protect the Constitution, to ensure domestic tranquility, to all this stuff about the posterity, secure the blessing of liberty for our posterity, and then we go out here and allow some civilian to come in on a signature and bastardize everything and all the meanings of what these soldiers did. It's almost like that stuff in Iraq. Just like Iraq, when America was over there for 20 years, Taliban was out there waiting in the wings because they didn't agree with all the stuff that America was doing. Because these people, when people believe in something, they believe in it. They're willing to live, die, and maim for it. So, the Taliban didn't agree with what America was doing over there. So, but they couldn't overpower America. So what do? They sit and wait. As soon as we pull our troops out, they pounce back in there and say, we getting our territory back. We're going to make these people do what they supposed to do. The values and all the things that they believed in, they going to imprint it and make these people do what they supposed to do. So anyway, as soon as America learns that you can't change people as far as their values and what they want for their children and all that kind of stuff, you can't. You keep sending people over there and dying for these kind of things. It ain't gonna work. Because people know what they're willing to live, die, and maim for. And so you go out here and got all this stuff going on with the Taliban. And to me, in fact, like I say, just for me, it's not unlike what we doing by allowing these civilians, people that ain't never put on a uniform, to come in on their signature and bastardize the courts and allow you and be putting stuff on your children and stuff like that to make these children bastardize these children's existence. And so what makes me, if I took the oath just to defend my nation, to ensure domestic tranquility against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I ain't done all that, so what makes it okay? Like I'm going to let that stop at my front door? Okay, I'm going to do this for the nation. But when all the enemy comes to my home, inside my house, and want to bastardize my children's existence and put some kind of cult practices against my young and impress them with some kind of bastardized version of my religion, why am I supposed to and expected to go along with that? I don't understand. So maybe somebody smarter than me can help me understand why that's okay. Why I'm supposed to go along with that. As a soldier, somebody who then swore and took an oath to do all these things for my country, and I love my country. But guess what? News flash. I love my children more. And guess what? News flash. My children only have one mother. They only have one father. But there are several countries on the planet. So although I took the oath to do all this stuff for my country, if my country ain't acting right, if my country is not protecting me so I can secure the values that make me and that secures if my country is not helping me to secure the values that are important to me to instill in my young, then guess what? I can go to another country. I don't have to sit here and be an American. I am take these children, like I say, get on that boat and go to Cuba. At least try. So I understand. It just trips me out that we don't hold these civilians to a higher standard. Why we allow them to come into court and on one signature bastardize everything that the American soldier is fighting for? Why do we allow it? That to me, that's my conundrum. I don't understand it, but I'm not the smartest person. I'm not what they say. I'm not the sharpest tool in the drawer. So maybe somebody understands it better than me. But if we can hold soldiers to standard, if we can do all this stuff, take money out their paycheck, give them dishonorable discharges, put them on extra duty, do whatever we can, and when they acting right, why can't we hold these civilians to standard? Why we can't require them to do what is necessary to secure the blessings of liberty for our posterity? We go out here, we had these children out here, and all this, all this no-fault divorce. How does that work? And to me, that's an oxymoron. No-fault divorce. You got two people in a marriage, but when they ready, somebody, one of them, only take one person, unilateral with this no-fault divorce. When one person wants to start over, and nobody fault. Like I said, that's an oxymoron. How do we go along with that? No-fault divorce. Why don't we call it, it's both of our fault divorce? Why can't we call it that? Why don't we just say it's both of our fault divorce? Change the language. The other thing we can do, like the psychologist would tell you, children will always find a way to know that they are the problem. That is their fault that the divorce occurred. So, so why don't we call it, it's not the kid's fault divorce? Why can't we do that? Why can't we call it, it's not the kid's fault divorce? But to call it a no-fault divorce, to me, that's an oxymoron. You shouldn't do it. No-fault divorces are just destroying these children. And what, they've been around since the, 60s and 70s? So that's the baby boomers who coming up with all this. And look at what we got now. They're building prisons. And we say, secure the blessings of liberty for our posterity. And you're putting them in prison. How is that securing their liberty? Ensure domestic tranquility? How is it domestic tranquility if these kids are out here struggling, trying to figure out where they are, where they fit, what the heck is going on? And they had these people, this lady on TV, Adele, she was out here just today. She was on TV talking about finding her happy. I understand people finding they happy. I get it. I understand. I was there. At the time, Reggie coming from Iraq, and then these kids wearing these clothes that were too big for them. Reggie liked to buy clothes for the kids that's too big for them, so that they can wear them for a good while, before they outgrow them. So that's what he liked to do. Well, I come home, he called me and say, I'm going to Iraq, can you come and watch the kids? I was on my way to Nepal. I was going to climb Mount Everest. I don't know if they would let me climb because I had no experience, but that's where I was headed. He said, you can do that when I get back. So anyway, that's where I was headed. I was in a situation, it was all crazy. And like I said, bury me before I go with the flow as far as what he was coming down the pipe with. So I was on my way to Nepal. He called me, said, come home, take care of the kids. They sending me to Iraq. So, when I got to the house, the boy got these clothes on that don't even fit. He got them twisted and tangled up and knotted up and maybe pinned in place because the waists were too big. I didn't like, because, like I said, he liked to buy stuff that's too big for him so they can grow into it. Anyway, I did not agree with that 100%. So anyway, I took a little funds that I had, and I was living off my savings. Because like I say, you going to bury me before I follow you down this path. So I was living off my savings, but I went out and bought these boys some clothes that fit. Why am I talking about the boys with clothes that fit? So I don't even know what I was talking about that. But anyway, so I went out and bought the boys some clothes that fit so they can wear what they go, where would fit them. And so then when he come from Iraq, he tell me, got me in tears, telling me to take these clothes off the board that I bought for him and put them in the stuff that he bought. And so I'm in tears taking these kids' clothes off. And Drew asked me what's wrong. I said, my mama got something in her eye. And so, I don't know what's wrong with me. I got something in my eye. And so I'm thinking to myself, I know why I'm talking about this, because Adele was on TV talking about her life and how it wasn't miserable. She wasn't miserable, but she wanted to find her happy. And she wanted her kids to see her happy. So she decided that, she's going to go ahead and go for this divorce because she wants her kids to know her as the happy person that she is. And I get it. I understand, because I was in that same predicament. When I was like, this is not who I am. I'm not a crybaby. I'm not somebody who cries to drop a hat. And but here I am changing my children's clothes, taking them out of stuff that's too big for them and putting in stuff that's too small. I mean, taking them out of stuff that's too big for... Taking them out of stuff that fit and put them in stuff that's too big. Because Reggie is telling me that that's what I need to do. I mean, I was insane. And the crying was because this is not normal. My daddy would never stand over my mother and demand that she put these kids in some kind of outfit, regardless of what the outfit would have been. So I was destroyed. I was devastated. I didn't understand that one at all. But I'm talking about that because that's what Adele did on TV talking about. And guess what? See, she got all these fans, these working class fans. And so she's talking about, if you don't find you happy, you need to divorce the man, go about your way, and find your happy. Well, I get it. You go, girl, you do you. Because that works for you. And see, when her child has ineffective coping, and then he end up, struggling, and he may not. He may adjust just well. He might do it just right. But if he does not, if he has ineffective coping, he's got all kinds of resources at his disposal. He can go into rehab if he finds himself on cocaine or alcohol or something like that. He can go into rehab, relapse, go back into rehab, relapse, go back into rehab. Because they got the resources to take care of that. If he finds himself on the wrong side of the law, he's got a team of lawyers to give him the best outcome. He get working through and find out maybe he'll end up with community service. You see what I'm saying? So she out here and telling these people that that's what she did. She wanted to find her happy. And she know that it could be at her child's expense. And not only that, the two live right across the street from each other. Mom on one side of the street, dad on the other side of the street. I mean, but mama got her boy toy, daddy got his booty call. So there you go. The children all exposed and everybody singing Kumbaya. That might work for people. That's all well and good. But see, the people she's talking to and look at Adele and say, oh, okay, it's working for her. Let me do it. Well, guess what? You working class. So now your child will go out here ineffective coping. What he get is he fall on crack. It ain't cocaine. Cocaine, I mean, that's one thing. But crack is something else. It's super addictive. It's harder to get off of. But anyway, so they fall on crack, and then guess what? They can't go in and out of rehab. They just stuck. And if they fall into alcohol, same thing. Ain't no rehab for them because you don't have the resources to give them that. And not only that, the other thing is they fall on the wrong side of the law. They end up with the public defender. They end up with the public defender. They ain't got a team of lawyers. You know what I'm saying? So all these people do all these things at the children's expense. It's one thing when you got wealth and you can manage that and you can work with it. But it's another thing when you working class and you don't have the resources to help your children navigate this. So all this no-fault divorce bull crap that they started, 30 years ago, we are seeing the results of that. It is not good. They're building prisons to take care of the kids that are dealing with the no-fault divorces. Anyway, I mean, that's just me coming out saying what I had to say about these little things. Because, I do appreciate the meals that they give us on Veterans Day. But what I would like to see is court orders to support what we do. Defend the values that make this nation great. And the values that make this nation great is not to bastardize the existence of our young. The values that make this nation great is not to take these children and find our happy while we've got our knee on our children's necks. And that is just my little 2 cents. Is that just my little 2 cents? And because I'm at 21 minutes, I think I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. But then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn it back on. Because I got some more to say, but it ain't about the Veterans Day. I think I said all I had to say about the Veterans Day. Veterans would prefer that it's not just lip service. What we just do is make their sacrifices count. To me, it's like all that stuff they doing in Iraq. Them Taliban, they were waiting in the wings. America was over there, we strong nation and all this other kind of stuff. So, but Taliban never agreed with all the stuff that we putting on there and imprinting on their young and making it, allowing their citizens to do. But they couldn't fight America. America too strong, too big and all that. So what they do? They just wait us out. And then when we pull our troops out, Taliban come right back in there and reclaim their territory and make these people do what Taliban wants them to do. Not what America wants them to do, but what Taliban wants them to do. When you're dealing with people and they're young and their posterity and the values and beliefs and all this other kind of stuff, your people ain't gonna give up. You can't. I think the sooner America learn that you can't change people's values and what the imprint they want on their kids, you will always be fighting a war. You need to let these people do what they do. I guess to some degree, but I mean it's just not healthy because these people have certain beliefs. Now, when you have your beliefs on your side of the world, as long as you don't cross the street and come over here and try and imprint that on my young, then we good to go. Harmonious, kumbaya. We got what they call it, tranquility, domestic tranquility. But if you over there across the street and you a Taliban and you see my child over here on my land, on my property, flying a kite, and you come over across the street and say, don't fly that kite, you can't fly that kite because there's angels up there and you frustrating the angels with that kite, well then I got something to say about that. You tell that to your kids and you imprint that on your young, but you don't come and press that on my young. My kids gonna fly the kite and they gonna sing the song. Let's go fly a kite up to the highest high, up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. So as long as you're not trying to imprint your mess on my young, we can have domestic tranquility. But the minute you start trying to throw your junk in my children's ears, that's a problem for me. And then you going to activate my, what they call it, I'm weaponized. I was at, when I went out to eat that day, on Veterans Day, this dude had a shirt on. The veteran, he had a shirt on. On the back of it says, I am the weapon. And I concur. You go out here and try and print your values on me, and they outside of what I believe and what I value, then you're going to weaponize me. I'm going to respond. You're not going to come out here and tell my kids that they can't fly a kite because you got angels up there and you're going to frustrate them. I don't believe that. So I'm not going to allow you to imprint that on my young. Baby, you go fly your kite and you sing your song. Fly a kite. Let's go fly a kite up to the height, up through the atmosphere, out where the air is clear. Fly your kite, sweethearts. Baby, anyway, I got here in 25 minutes. Because it's 25 minutes, I'll go ahead and cut it off. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on, too, because I want to talk about that man. And the Aubrey, what is the Aubrey? What's that man's name? My Aubrey case. So I want to talk about that lawyer up there talking about don't want the black pastors in the church. But anyway, let me turn this off. 25 minutes, that's enough.